Tate Mayfairs, thank you so much for coming on the Grapple Theory podcast. It's glorious to have you here. I mean, we're honoured by your presence, as I'm sure you get all the time.
I'm not surprised. It's, that's a very normal reaction to have. Calm down, take your time, take some deep breaths if you must. But the floor is yours. It's very rare. You got to imagine, I know that there are nearly 8 billion people in the world right now, right? On Earth right now. So even as big of a number that is in the grand scheme of things, across the whole course of history, past and yet to come, it's actually a very small percent of living beings that get to walk the earth the same time as myself.
Absolutely. And an even smaller percentage that get to even talk to you.
Exactly. So take in the enormity of this moment. And when you're already calm and ready to proceed, you may ask the great Tate Mayfairs whatever you wish.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly. And so does our audience, of course, because I'm sure they'll be delighted to have you here. It's been a long time coming, I feel, because it seems like the last year, obviously we're talking now when this is going out in 2023, but 2022 seemed like it was almost the year of Tate Mayfairs, wasn't it? It was the year you sort of came to the forefront, made yourself known to the British wrestling community.
I mean, yeah. Out of obscurity, I was on the path to great. I've been on the path to greatness since day dot, since I arrived on this planet. It was already predicted, already master planned out. But I was on the rise in the wrestling industry in 2020, and then it took a worldwide pandemic to stop my rise.
Yeah.
A year and a half. And other people gave up. Other people did whatever they did. Other people moaned and complained. But I continued to work day in, day out, harder than anybody ever. And 2021, I had to rebuild again. I was in complete darkness in the wrestling world. But as soon as the clocks turned to the new year, 2022, I delivered. And I did still the year. I did show the world that Tateness is greatness. And as 2022 has come to an end, and everyone can appreciate that and be in awe of that, they're all wondering now, what is he going to do this year, 2023? It's all about me. T-A-T-E.
Well, that is the key question, isn't it? Like, what is to come now? Because you've made yourself known. You're out there now. Things like Progress, Resurgence. You're in the spotlight. What
TNT.
What comes next?
WWE. Do you not remember that?
How far?
I've done a lot of things this year.
You have. How far can Tate go? That's the question. I assume if we were having this chat this time next year, you'd probably have 4 or 5 belts with you as well.
I have belts. As much as people want to point the finger about times when I haven't come short of winning a championship here and there. Let's be honest. Early, I was a Rumble All Nations champion for over 470 days. I still currently hold the SWW Openweight Championship, and I am the TNT Level Up Briefcase winner, making me have an opportunity to challenge for any title in TNT at any time I want. So, I don't post pictures of me wearing all the belts because I don't need that, you know what I mean? I don't need that ego rub, I'm very confident in myself and my abilities. I'm not a mark like that. I am a champion. Maybe next year, you're right. Maybe next year I will take that photo up with all of these belts I have collected along the way. And what they will be, that's for me to know and you to find out.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about TNT because you mentioned that now. I mean, there's plenty of people you could have your eye on in TNT to cash in that level up title challenge, right? Is there anyone in particular you got your eye on?
Well, we've got Nico Angelo with his championship he's got there. I did face him earlier in the year on the GCW weekend. He walked away with it that time, but earlier in the year I beat him for the SWW Openweight Championship, and later in the year I beat him in the MPS for Progress Wrestling. So the way I see it, 2 out of 3. I beat him. I won the last one as well. I feel content in having beaten him. I don't know, though, whether or not I want to challenge him for that title again. Also got RP Davies Just won the last TNT Ignition show.
Yeah.
Championship. Interesting. You also have Dan Maloney, the TNT Extreme Heavyweight Champion. Interesting. I've had a few run-ins with him as well over the last year.
A little bit of recent history, isn't there, with progress and stuff as well, isn't there? A little bit of revenge maybe needed.
Me and him ran into each other at Riot Cabaret and had a few words, a few altercations, let's say, a few discrepancies. We also ran into each other in Dubai, and he kind of...
He stole your spotlight, didn't he? He stole your spotlight a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was an illegitimate match and he stole the championship off of me, so, you know, we shall see. I won't say anything. They can all watch. They can all be scared. They can have be on their toes, be eyes around the back of them and see what happens. But let's be honest. I will be a TNT champion in 2023.
Absolutely. Sure of it. No doubt in my mind that will happen. But, I mean, does it... How do I put it? Does it tarnish the Tate Mayfairs brand, the fact that, especially out in Dubai, that you held the Progress belt, but you held it for so little time? You know, is that...
Why do you go on about... Why do you keep going on about time? Understand this. I have been the champion of Dubai. Understand that. Say no more. I don't want to hear any other if ands or buts about it. I don't want to hear any other facts and figures around it. I was champion of Dubai. Tate Mayfairs was the champion of all of Dubai. And let me tell you, the ladies love to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, it seemed like you had a good time out there. You know, you were posting pictures on the dunes and stuff. It seemed very Tate Mayfairs. You know, it seemed like that was your sort of lifestyle, very chill and laid back and soaking in the sun.
They welcomed me with open arms out there in Dubai, as expected. And I think there's scope and potential to return out there. You know, they did boo me as well, but it's just wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are wrestling fans. Unsurprisingly, no matter where you go in the world, they are the worst dregs. And even as much as Dubai is a beautiful city filled with beautiful people and a great atmosphere, way better than London, like you said. The wrestling fans still hold themselves to the lowest point of you know, human beings. So, of course, they still boo me. But in general, I love the city and I will be back for sure.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the fans didn't like, but the general Dubai public, you know, outside of wrestling, I'm sure that those were the ones who were welcoming you, right? With, you know, gifts and flowers and all sorts, I imagine.
They get it, mate. They understand. I mean, to be honest with you as well, like, you know, the UK, is a cesspool, but in the good parts of West London, they also treat you the same way.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you go to the ballroom, you go to Clapham Grand, and again, wrestling fans, disgusting people, really. So, you will all learn in time. I will, as much as you give me the grief, I will still give you the truth, and in time you will understand. The Tateness is greatness. Absolutely.
Is we're talking about progress. Is Leon Slater someone who's going to be understanding that in, I guess, sort of like a week after this podcast comes out or so? You're facing him. Is he gonna learn that Tateness is greatness? Because he's been one of the rising stars of the year as well. I think like I'd put you two sort of pretty level in terms of the stock you've made for yourself in 2022. So how are you going to overcome that? Because he's really on a roll at the minute.
Of course he's on the roll. He's very good. He's the 0.0001, whatever he says he is. But add another couple zeros in there, and you got Tate Mayfairs. You know, he already knows that Tateness is greatness. But he's going to find out firsthand exactly how great I am. And here's the thing with Leon. He has got a lot of things rolling his way. You know, he is on a roll. He's a fantastic young athlete. But my thing is this. He's being led astray. He's being led astray by these fans, these wrestling fans. People put their opinion on a pedestal. He's letting them, you know, dictate and encourage him and persuade him down dark paths, laying in the hands of the 0121. Darius and Dan Maloney, once again, Dan Maloney, terrible people, terrible human beings. they are a bad influence on young Leon Slater. And after I beat Leon Slater, he will know that I am the greatest, and he will start to see that he needs to align himself closer to Tate Mayfairs, live a life like Tate Mayfairs, and get away from the 0121 and all those little mugs. He needs to understand that. Only then will he have the full potential of his career unlocked.
Is that something you'd be keen on then? Like you mentioned that in terms of other wrestlers on the scene who you think might have potential in terms of, maybe recruiting them, bringing them into the Tate Mayfairs world, or does Tate rise alone?
This is a one-man show. This is a one-man show.
Right.
I am merely the man making the breadcrumbs. My carriage is for me. It's a beautiful carriage. I love every part of it, but no one gets to sit here next to me. People, some beautiful beings may be able to come and join for a moment in time, but no one gets to ride in my carriage at all times. Leon Slater, I will just simply show him the way. He can do the rest. And he'll be a great number 2. You know what I mean? He'll be a great second best wrestler in the world.
Yeah. Well, that's the interesting thing, though, isn't it? Because you talk about number 2s, and it brings me on to Resurgence, where you sort of aligned yourself with Spike Trivet. But it seems like, forgive me for saying, but it seems like you're the number 2 in that scenario, and that surprises me, It's surprising because it doesn't seem like a Tate Mayfairs thing to be sort of the lackey to someone else like Spike Trivet.
I resent you even mentioning that, you little rat. How dare you?
I'm just calling it as I see it, as how I see it,
Why? Because he's the one with the championship right now?
Well, he's the one that you helped win the championship, and it seems like you're under his wing, as it were.
Why am I... Think about what you just said. I ensured that he was champion. Spike Trivet, at that moment in time, was a fan favorite. The previous show, I beat Spike Trivet. What made Spike turn?
Well, we've seen in the past that Spike's minor, face turns don't last long, It always seems like he can turn at any minute.
It seems as if, after I beat him, he started to have a change of heart once again. It seems as if, when I handed him the brass knuckles, that's when he had his final, conclusive turn of heart. Seems as if maybe I elected Spike Trivet to be the champion.
So what's in it for you there? That seems like you'd want to be the champ, right?
Why would I tell you everything that I'm planning?
Well, I've just got to know these things, right?
Why would I put on a public forum all of my smart and divisive plans? Why would I do that?
Well, it just seems a little defensive, It seems a little like you're...
The world watches what I do, and they take note. Even though some things I say clear as day and they miss what's right glaring them in the face, there are some things I'm going to keep to myself. I am not going to lay out my entire financial and strategical plan to you. Understand that I am always moves ahead. Understand that I am always the winner. And that is why Tateness is greatness.
Right. So you're confirming now, really, essentially, though, that you are the leader of that posse there in Resurgence. You're the one calling the shots, as it were.
Can't say certain things, okay? Understand this. Harry Singh, Spike Trivet, Tate Mayfairs are 3 kings in the wrestling scene. 3 kings taking over Wrestling Resurgence. And the first thing and the most important thing that everyone needs to know for right now is we're going to destroy Wrestling Resurgence because it is a stain on the canvas of British wrestling.
Yeah, well, as a fan, I'd say they're doing great work, but I can understand your side of it. You want what's best for you and Spike and Harry, and you're doing a good job there in sort of creating a bit of chaos, a bit of disruption. Disrupting the balance, as it were. Is that something that not necessarily from you 3 as a trio, but from Tate Mayfairs maybe in the next year we can expect at other promotions, disrupting those balances that other promotions have created and sort of causing a bit of chaos?
I hear what you're saying. To some degree, there must be chaos in order to create order, and unfortunately, the order and the state of affairs in a lot of not just British wrestling but wrestling worldwide is totally unbalanced and in need of serious repair. And I am the solution. I am the savior of professional wrestling, and I must create a little bit of chaos soon then, or be able to destroy it and build it up again in my image. And this is what you are seeing right now. Just trust me, the whole wrestling scene is going to be in such a beautiful place by the time I am done with it. British wrestling will once again have its prestige, honor, and glory restored. Professional wrestling will once again be the biggest draw in the entire universe, thanks to me. You are lucky to be watching this in real time.
Yeah, seeing the rise, as it were, you know, like getting to see, like being able to win, like you said, there's not many people in the grand scheme of things who are going to be able to share the same life timeline as Tate Mayfairs, but to be able to see this rise take place, it's a rare thing.
It's a rare thing. Imagine if someone said to you right now, here you go, here is a button, here is a pill, you can go back and watch in real time the pyramids be built. You can watch in real time Rome be built. Well, guess what? Here's a pill, you've already taken it. You were sat in real time watching Tate Mayfairs build the world once more in a time of greatness.
I mean, I gotta say, you're giving off like, this is just for me, as someone who's a self-professed Star Wars fan, and I hope you take this as a compliment, because it's how I mean it. But you're giving off very sort of like Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious vibes with this rise, like in terms of, you know, the way in the films he speaks, the way he wants to go about things, and I'll tell you what, it's almost, it's quite iconic. I'll give you that. It's very impressive.
I despise that. Why do they paint these like clear lines of good and evil when you're all so desperate to paint me out as the bad guy? Maybe I'm Luke Skywalker. Maybe I'm the good guy. Maybe you're all twisted. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah. I suppose you could look at it that way. But I don't know. Luke Skywalker doesn't seem to be, you know, hell bent on total domination.
Luke Skywalker. Listen, just shut up, you nerd.
It's what I do. I talk in Star Wars because that's what I know, right? Just like we both know wrestling here. It's basically my other thing.
The Force is strong right here. I am the very source of the Force.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one would deny that, though, really. The year you've had, it would be ridiculous to even try and deny that.
Exactly.
So, I mean, well, that sort of leads us on nicely. You've sort of dished the dirt a bit on a few people here, but it leads us on nicely to our first little feature we got here, because I know how you like dishing dirt. I know how you like talking bad about some of your fellow wrestlers. It leads us into our first thing.
I just tell the truth. The truth is painful sometimes, you know what I mean?
Well, you're going to tell some painful truths here, because this segment is called Dish in the Dirt, and we're going to talk about the Progress locker room, because that's the locker room that you seem to have sort of invaded last year, but you'll get to sort of have your say on a few people. And, you know, maybe, you'll get a little bit of heat, but Tate Mayfairs always has some heat in the wrestling room, don't they? Because, you know, you're so good that people are just that jealous.
You'd all freeze to death without me.
So, I'm going to ask you a few things, and you let me know which of your fellow Progress locker room members come to mind. All right? So the first one is, who's always late?
Darius.
Is he? Never on time.
He's had more moments, I would say, from my recollection, than other people. To be fair to the lad, though, and it's rare that I'll be kind about anyone in the 012, because they're a bunch of dirty little rats. He's normally doing 2 shows, you know. He obviously needs the money, doesn't he? But that's why he's often late as well. Other times, I think he must just be a sleepy, lazy little rat.
No, Tate doesn't need that, though. Tate only needs to do 1 show, if that, really. You're gracing them with your presence.
Exactly, come on. Gotta leave some work to some jabronis, you know what I mean?
Well, the opposite end of that is, who's always the early bird? Who's the first to arrive on the scene? Who likes to get in there really early, beat Tate Mayfairs through the door?
I wouldn't know. Probably me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Who's early? Probably Charles Crowley, the little Kino.
Always there, right? Always on time. Always on time. Well, the rest of these sort of are like, you know, it's essentially I'm asking you who apart from Tate Mayfairs is this? Who's second best in all of these? Because obviously we know the answer to most of them would be Tate Mayfairs. But the next one is who's the comedian of the locker room?
Progress?
Yeah. Can anyone make you laugh? Can anyone crack a smile out of Tate?
Oh, this is the thing, you know. This is the thing, right? This is not just in front of. It's not just in the audience, right? It's also everyone backstage. You know, no one gives me the respect, so I just go take myself off, there's actually a locker room at the very top of there's 3 stories to the backstage of the ballroom. People don't know this or not. And I go to the very top and I sit on a locker room of my own and no one comes near me because that's the way I like to be. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I walk past and I see that big mouth jabroni Dan Maloney running his mouth and holding court and everyone laughing. It does my head in, to be honest with you.
Doesn't impress you at all.
No, it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, again, apart from Tate, who is the most competitive? Who's the one that always has to try and one up you? You know.
Probably Leon Slater.
Yeah. Always still in the spotlight, isn't he?
I don't know if he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to.
Yeah. He might do against you next week, mightn't he? He might.
No, he won't do. He will. The only thing he'll be stealing. The only thing he'll be stealing is hopefully some of Doris's merchandise and deciding that it's time to part ways with the pair of them.
Yeah, burn it in the ring or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, pledge allegiance. I like it. The next one is who's the slowpoke? Who takes the longest to get ready? You know, you're sitting there waiting for, you know, your entrance and you're waiting for your opponent and they're taking ages. You're like, hurry up.
Probably that little prima donna diva, Simon Miller, taking all his time to do up his shoelaces and put his hat on.
Yeah.
Just to go out there and do a simple job of telling people like who's coming to the ring. One idiot.
Yeah. Is that something you'd ever consider? Bit of like in-ring on the mic work in terms of hosting a show?
It's so degrading. How dare you? Or would you turn around to the King of England and say, have you ever thought about cleaning the toilets? Shut up.
Love to see it though. Would love to see it. Both of those things you mentioned, you hosting and King Charles cleaning a toilet.
Disgusting, man.
The next one. This one should be easy for you to answer. Actually, I'm sure there's a fair few answers in your mind to this one. It's who's got the worst dress sense? And we're not talking in the ring. We're talking out the ring, in real life, in shoot life. Who dresses the worst in the Progress locker room?
Oh God, there's so many. Maybe SoCal Val.
Yeah, no style.
No style. Absolutely zero. Maybe Simon Miller. Look at it. Look at that. Just walking around in a bunch of Progress clothes. I'm going to put them up there.
Yeah, that's a good show.
And Ollie Springham commentary. I've got a bone to pick with commentary. What the hell? Have you ever watched Back on the Demand?
I have. Yeah, they're not fans of you, really.
They're very unkind. It seems that I need to have. I have made a formal complaint with Progress, by the way.
Oh, have they? Okay.
Simon and the commentary and everyone are kind of, even the social media team are like, it's a clear divisive plan out to get at me. And it's not okay.
No.
It's demonising me when I'm the hero here.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they're really showing themselves as being disgusting human beings.
Oh, of course.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're doing the honour of turning up, right? And they treat you like that. It's outrageous.
Exactly.
It's outrageous. Well, no, some good answers there. But I mean, on the other end, you know, I'm going to have to force you to say something nice about someone, because I'm going to say, out of anyone's, and now we're talking in-ring gear, out of anyone's in-ring gear, if you weren't wearing what Tate Mayfairs always wears and pulls off with such style, if you had to pick one other bit of ring gear that one of your fellow Progress locker room members has to wear, who would you pick? Whose style in the ring do you actually think, you know, that's not bad, you know, it's nothing compared to me, but, you know, that's the second best?
Is that a joke, man? Is that...
There's got to be someone
close. There anyone even remotely close?
There's got to be someone whose style you look at and you're like, you know, that's a passable look.
Passable. I tell you what's hilarious. Doris's mirror ball jacket. What the hell is that? I tell you what else is. I don't know. Maybe that mouthy girl. Lana Austin, maybe she's got a bit of style. Maybe if I was a Lady Mayfairs, I might don a similar coat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, both got style. I can see that. You're both very stylish.
Well, she's stylish. I'm very stylish.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry, my apologies. I got that wrong. That's my bad. The next one is, this one's tough because you're going to have to put your trust in someone here, which I know that it's a tough thing for you, but if you could pick any member of the Progress locker room to have by your side in the zombie apocalypse, Who would you pick?
Oh, jeez.
Who do you think would actually have your back?
Well, I guess me and Spike have got a thing of insurgents, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can always bring that over.
But would he ditch me? Would he be a good enough shield to ditch?
That's the crucial thing, right? Yeah. Is he going to be a liability?
Yeah, but also, like, if I wanted to sacrifice him, is he going to be,
keep him busy for long enough?
Yeah. I need somebody capable, but also stupid enough. I even know they all are, but someone I could also then throw into the sacrificial lamb sort of style.
Yeah, yeah. Someone who they think you've got their back, but really you're just using them.
Who else could there be?
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Maybe John. Maybe I could befriend maybe someone like Luke Jacobs or something.
Yeah. Luke would be good, wouldn't he? Yeah, he'd fight loads of people off.
Yeah, he's quite a beefy lad. He's quite smart. But I could easily trick him and chuck him into the wolves for sure.
Yeah. That's good thinking. I like it. And the final one is, I'm sure Tate Mayfairs is used to throwing a lavish party. Lots of alcohol, lots of important celebrities coming around. I'm sure. But the final one is, if you had to put your trust again in a member of the Progress locker room to throw you a party, who do you think would throw the best bash? Who do you think would throw a party worthy of Tate Mayfairs being, turning up?
Who do you think would throw a good party?
Well, I mean, a good Tate Mayfairs party, again, I think I might go back to Lana. I think Lana and yourself, again, sort of have that sort of taste, that sort of style where, you probably, appreciate the finer things in life.
She's probably, to be honest, I think you're right. I think she's the only one who would have close to some of the worthwhile contacts and some of the, similar tastes. So let's say Lana. The Lana experience, I reckon as a team, they'd be able to throw a nice Tate Mayfairs.
Yeah, all three of them together. Yeah, proper bash. You've got loads of celebrities coming then, because they're coming for yourself and also all three of them.
Oh, you've only got to drop the name Tate Mayfairs and
celebrities are flocking.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
Who is the most the highest profile celebrity you've had at a party?
We can't say that.
No?
Yeah, listen, there's some of these parties, bro. You don't talk about the guest list. It's uncouth. When you get to the circles that I'm in, I understand the way that we deal at this level of society is different to the way you plebeians deal. So, and listen, I used to be poor. I used to be a working class lad. My parents met on the dole. I have worked to get to where I am today. So I understand what it's like to be a mug like you lot. But
you've risen above now.
Understand that it does get different when you move up to another level, and it's simply a bit crass to be shouting about that on a public podcast.
No, sure. But a true working class hero, really. Come from nothing, made a name for yourself, got the wealth now, and
it's almost as if the wrestling fans shut up for a minute and actually considered listening to me and taking on board what I'm doing and what I'm saying. Might get somewhere.
Yeah.
They might even be as happy as me, but no, they see me happy and it upsets them because they know that they don't feel that way. And what they want to do, rather than understand me, is try and tear me down and make them feel better about themselves. I'm a good thing.
Of course. Well, we talked about moving forward in 2023 and sort of your plans to take over British wrestling. And you mentioned wanting to take over, just global wrestling. And I'm sure, again, Tate Mayfairs, like we mentioned with the parties, probably jetting off to America and Japan and, places all around the world for parties and events, probably week in, week out when you're not wrestling. But what about wrestling over in those places? Is that a plan? Is that something that we could see in 2023?
Absolutely. I see Dubai on the cards. I see America on the cards. I see there's a lot of European companies that I'm speaking with. I have a contact for Mexico. Let's see what comes. Let's see what comes. Let me. The thing is, maybe if you're lucky to even have a conversation with me privately, maybe I would tell you some things. But it's as far as a public platform, I will keep the cards close until the last second, and we'll see what happens. But understand that absolutely. When you look back over the annals of time and you look at 2023, regards to Tate Mayfairs, you'll say that was the beginning of the international expansion.
No, sure, and I appreciate even the little glimpse behind you. I appreciate you can't say everything because that would give too much away. But I am curious in terms of, if you were to head out to America, what sort of scene is more Tate Mayfairs? Are you more of the New York, or are you more the opposite side? Are you more LA? What scene is more, or is more your style in terms of, not just wrestling out, but like the lifestyle and like, the parties, things like that? Where do you see yourself fitting in best?
Truth be told, man, America's kind of a dump. It really is. I mean, the weather is nice in some areas of it, but like the culture of the society is trash. The food is trash. The people are disgusting. So it really is. It's more of a business. It's more of a business move. And regards to wrestling scene, I mean, I am the scene. So wherever I go, it doesn't matter what kind of little twerk they like to do before they do whatever they do. I will just knock them out cold as I do everybody. I think that the wrestling scene in the New York area seems a bit more exciting in terms of other talent. The weather is nicer in the LA side, but truth be told, it's all a load of crap.
No, sure. I mean, is there again a little concern maybe in that people over in America, be they wrestlers or fans, won't appreciate the grandeur that is Tate Mayfairs, in terms of, getting you almost, like you said with you over here, that sort of heat that you maybe feel like you don't deserve. People just won't understand what Tate Mayfairs is over in America, and you'll get a lot of backlash because of that.
I mean, it's the same anywhere you go in the world, really. Stupidity is stupidity. You can't win an argument with an idiot, can you? You can only do the right thing, and eventually they may start to cotton on and understand. So yes, I imagine more of the same treatment over in America, probably worse, because as failed a society as the UK is, America is a lot further down that slippery slope.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Tricky. But you can bring them some light when you go over, right? That's what you can bring.
Hey.
If they appreciate it, that is. If they appreciate it.
I always bring the light. I will bless the America. They will say, Tate blessed America.
Yeah, well, we've spoken actually about Tateness being greatness a lot in this podcast. It brings us on to another little feature we've called What's in a Name. And I sort of want to know just about what it takes to be Tate Mayfairs. How would you define who Tate Mayfairs is as a person, and sort of exactly just what I said, what does it take to be Tate Mayfairs in your mind?
Wow. I mean, probably you take a teaspoon of joy, a cupful of magic, a little sprinkle of beauty, and you pour in the soul and the spirit of the universe, and you warm that up, and you stir that up, and you pour it through hard times and hard work, and out comes a man like Tate Mayfairs.
And then you stick a spiffy shirt on him as well.
I'm a well-dressed man, there's no doubt about it. I don't know where a lot of these things come from. You understand, I was born to this planet, and as soon as I had a conscious mind, I knew exactly what I had to do.
Drawn to it almost, yeah.
It was already planned. It's like waking up, you got a pair of trousers on, you pull your hand in your pocket, you pull out, and it says a piece of paper that says, this is what you're going to do today. This is what that's what my experience on life has been. I was born here and I knew exactly what I was meant to do, and exactly that. Now there are certain, it was like, wow, that's quite a mountain to climb. How will I do that? And then I was told by my inner voice, just follow one step in front of the other. And I have done so, and I have been on a journey, a massive journey in life that no one really truly understands, and we haven't even fully got to yet. But understand this, I have been around the world. I have fought people since I was a child. I have mastered different fighting styles. I've traveled around the world. I've traveled other realms. I have been to all cultures. I have been through all manners of income, of all manners of work placement, of social placement. I've been in all kinds of states of mind, and I have come out the other side complete and full. And I have come back to the professional wrestling business because I started it when I was a child. Back to this business as a well-formed, wealthy, and well-traveled, and well-read human being, only to show the world how great I am, only to show the world the path to greatness. I could have easily gone off to a private island and had a few things set up and lived a beautiful life in peace. But no, I don't even really choose it. I am already pre-made to show the world how great I am, to show the world the way to greatness. And yeah, I have to deal with all of the booing, all of the jeering, all of the name calling on this path, but understand that at the end of it all, you will all bow your head, bend at the knee, and confess goodness.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I fully expect most of us to be doing that by the end of next year, if I'm honest. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's not.
The UK, most certainly. The world, we will get there.
Maybe a little longer, yeah. Travel times and all that, it's all... But I suppose in your private jets, it takes, minutes, maybe, to get to America or something.
You've never drove on a private jet before, have you? Minutes.
I showed my weakness there, didn't I? I showed that my sort of lower classness there.
So anyway, I forget what your question was, but basically,
I think you answered it. I think you answered it beautifully. I think that there was a little tangent there, but I think you answered it, perfectly. Apart from that.
What do you mean apart from that? You're trying to suggest there was something that I did that was not quite perfect.
Well, no, I mean, you went off on a little bit of a ramble, but we like that.
Maybe you just lost the way because you're too stupid to hold on.
No, I mean, it's probably that.
I'm painting masterpieces for you. Maybe get stuck in the detail of a curve. Understand that I am great. And when you sit back and look at the whole picture, you'll thank me.
You see the masterpiece within. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, I've only got a few more questions for you, really. I mean, one of them sort of brings us back. Well, I appreciate the amount of time you've already taken up. It's been an honour to have you here for this long. But I want to ask you, we talked about Spike Trivet, and just, whatever your relationship is with him, however that dynamic works, I think we can both agree that you're both, very, very wealthy men with considerable power in the British wrestling scene.
I would agree.
So, I mean, I've got to ask you while you're here, who is the wealthiest? Who does have the most power? Who should people be backing, really? Because, you both want that. You both want that sort of that power dynamic, and you both sort of want people to sort of, like you say, bend the knee for you. But why should people be...
a rift in between me and Spike.
Oh, no, I would never dream of it. I'm just saying that...
Tried multiple times during this interview to try and get me to say something, to drive a wedge between me and Spike and try and thwart our plans to take over Resurgence, haven't we?
No, I just don't want people to be confused. If he's asking people to bend the knee, and you are as well, I'm just wondering why people should pick you ahead of him. Well,
why don't you ask yourselves, huh? This is a question to you, and a question to you watching down there. How about you ask yourself, who do you trust?
What if I said neither of you?
Well, then who else?
What about, Gene Money?
Gene Money. You think Gene Money is going to be the savior of your soul?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is the problem with all of you. Look close. Understand, he was born into wealth. That money he has is his mummy and daddy's, okay? And he has a lot of power. He has the Progress Wrestling World Championship. For how long?
Well, We'll see, won't we? We'll see. But I understand. I respect the fact that you have, sort of defended Spike with that, and you're not willing to, as much as I've tried to get you to, maybe like you say, cause that little rift. You've not risen to it, and I respect that.
That's a typical journalist, honestly. And the other thing is, as bad and evil as he maybe has done some pretty bad things. I would admit that. But let me just say this: he is a better man than most of you.
No, of course, you both are really. Like you're up there, right? We're all down here, and you're up there, and I understand that. I do. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do appreciate your time. We've taken up a lot of it already, but we're nearly done. We've got one final feature here. And we're going to do what we do best.
How long will this go on for?
It won't go on much longer. It won't go on much longer.
Please hurry up.
You'll be having a drink and chilling out, sitting, or off to getting ready for a party in no time.
Yeah, another one. Cheers.
Nice, good. I like it. Well, this final one, we're going to do a bit more of Tate.
Yes, ice.
We're going to do a bit more of Tate talking about Tate here, because we know that's what you love to do best. And so this final one is called Anatomy of a Pro Wrestler, and we're just going to find out what makes you, almost, not necessarily behind the scenes, but, a little glimpse into the lavish life of Tate Mayfairs.
Sure.
So.
Have you been on my YouTube channel, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen it. There's
people watching down this little lens right here. If you go to YouTube, and now they do it by the username, right? So youtube.com/@Tate Mayfairs. You can watch some of my lavish life unfold before your eyes. I have vlogs on my me getting custom made shirts, me doing training in my hometown in West London. So you can actually physically watch some of the lavish lifestyle. I call it luxury fight style. That is the life of Tate Mayfairs.
And again, that's kind of you to give the people that glimpse that they wouldn't normally get into such a lavish lifestyle.
This is what I'm saying, bro. I am showing you the way to greatness.
Well, we're going to see a little bit more of it here, because I'm just going to ask you a few simple questions and you let me know what comes to mind, almost quick fire style.
Put it down there. Yes. Okay, go on, mate.
So it's first one is your favourite pre-show meal. What do you like to eat before a show?
I actually changed a little bit through the year. So I actually started the year pretty, like, going into each match quite fasted. So I'd maybe have just a bowl of porridge, like oatmeal, and then like apples and bananas, and then coffee and water. And I'd basically just have that before a show. And I'd say all the way for the first half of the year, and bear in mind, a lot of these shows are like, I won't get to wrestle till early as 7 p.m, maybe 9 p.m, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe 10 p.m.
Yeah, so when you're the headline, the main event, yeah.
So I'd pretty much be real starved out by the time I perform. I wanted to be as light and cut as possible going into the fights. And then second half of the year, I actually decided that I wanted to fuel up and have as much energy in the tank before. So now I always have like porridge in the morning, but then I'll probably have I normally have like a second meal then before the shows as well.
Nice.
So normally a chicken-based meal, and then like protein shakes, protein bar, and then fruits.
I like it. Well, on the opposite end, the next one is my favourite post-pinfall pig-out. And perhaps pig-out's not the right word for Tate Mayfairs, but maybe let's say post-fight feast, you know.
I like it. Post-fight feast.
What are you dining on after a glorious victory?
Steak.
Nice.
Medium rare. Salt and pepper, no sauce.
The way it should be.
Steamed.
Nice. Lavish. Proper high quality.
Yeah, I mean, we don't muck about, mate. We ain't doing no cheap run-of-the-mill cuts.
I imagine it's the Wagyu, you know, like A5 proper hearty stuff.
Well, I keep the fat out. I normally go for something like a rum.
Right.
Quality, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you got to keep lean, actually, don't you? Yeah. I like it. The next one is the song that gets you the most hyped.
I tell you what, just the first thing that comes to mind is you say that is I remember at the start of 2022, a lot of people, say like the kind of turning moment and that sparked the year was that match against Dean Allmark at Progress Wrestling, the first show back in front of a live crowd, and
in my head, in my headphones and in my head all day, I had a song called Easy by Kanye West, and someone else is on that track. And the lyrics of that is, he was once a thug from around the way. My life was never easy. That got me hyped, and that kind of really set the tone for the year. So there's a bunch of other songs I could say, but I'm just going to give the honourable mention to that one.
I like it.
This year.
Yeah, I like it. The next one is, well, I'm sure, like you said, you have your own sort of like personal locker room at Progress and things like that, but the next one's the movie that I'd show the locker room. You know, if you were sort of slumming it with the rest of the locker room, but you were insistent that they watch a movie and you're picking the movie, what movie would you pick? What do you think they need to see? What do you think people have to see? You know, what movie do you think is like, you need to watch this so you can be more like me?
I generally think films are a waste of time. Maybe it is a Star Wars. Maybe they understand that the Force is strong. Maybe it's something like Space Odyssey 2000.
Nice.
I'm going to go for either of those two. Take your pick.
Like it. The next one is Tate Mayfairs. What's your favourite way to relax?
Well, I've got a couple places in West London, like establishments. Yeah, I like to have a nice meal with a beautiful salmon, and listen to some live music.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of world jazz from around the world.
Classy.
Great musicians in London. You can bring them in and they'll play their hearts out. So that is probably, there are multiple ways, but that is probably that. I also get a lot of massage as well. Massage, especially in my trade, you must keep the body supple.
Yeah, loose. Yeah, keep it. Yeah, ready to go at all times.
So I do like, probably the best ways for me to relax are getting a massage and then also sharing a meal with a beautiful person, listening to some wonderful music. Yeah, I'd say that's probably it.
I like it. It sounds good. I only aspire to be at that level at some point, but
if you follow the way, you may get there.
Well, the next one, we're going to take it a bit of a throwback, and we're going to give people a real, because you mentioned how, you came from the bottom and now you're at the top. So we're going to go sort of almost back to the bottom now, because we're going to ask, what was your first job?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, too harrowing.
Shut up, move on.
Very well.
How dare you laugh at me?
Well, I'm just wondering what it is now. There's so many things rushing through my mind of what it could have been. In my mind, I'm imagining McDonald's.
McDonald's, really?
Yeah.
Understand this. Maybe I worked for a couple of people here and there, but no one was ever the boss of me. Yeah? And maybe some things I did to earn some money, maybe I can't talk about them.
Sure. Yeah, sneaky. I like it.
Maybe you should think twice about laughing at me.
You're right. I apologise. I can only apologise. Well, actually, the next one's quite tough as well, because it's my greatest fear. But does Tate Mayfairs even have any fears?
No, absolutely none.
Nothing.
It's irrelevant to me. Fear is merely an indicator of something. There is nothing that I am scared of. Maybe at times I feel the enormity or the pressure of a situation, the threat of a situation. I simply stare at it and breathe it and then destroy it.
Of course.
You must understand that. Take your time. Everyone watching, you must understand, and at a deeper level, maybe we'll do more of these interviews over time and I can go into more detail. But you must understand that there is no fear that can defeat me.
No, I wouldn't expect there to be.
You could be just like me.
Just get rid of the fear. Is that what it takes? Is that like how you can sort of help ascend to that level? Just block out the fear.
It's not block. You must engage with it and you must defeat it.
Right.
If you were to run away from it, it will grow. If you were to block it, it will stay there. It will also grow. You must engage with it. One of the quotes that I took early on in life was face the challenge. One of the things the Buddhist monks talk about in meditation is when you are approached by the dragon, walk directly into its mouth. Now listen to me, Tate Mayfairs tell you this. You run away from fear, it will grow. You run away from the devil, he will grow stronger. But you turn and face the devil in the eye and knock him the fuck out. You will be the king of your realm.
Right, got to work on that. I'll have to work on that actually in 2023. That's going to be my New Year's resolution, I think. I'll make sure I do that.
I fear nothing. Have you ever seen me walk away from a challenge? Never.
No, I can't think of any. Maybe a couple, like in the ring, but you know.
Really? Everyone talks about how a go-go put the flag over me at Super Strong Style 16, but he walked away from me. Kept calling him back. He kept walking away until he had to. I even chased him up the country to Liverpool at TNT, and then he flew out the country. There is no man that can get the bat with me.
No, they fear you, yeah.
There's no challenge I'll be scared of.
No, absolutely. The fact that I even brought it up, I'm ashamed of myself, to be honest.
Well, there we go. Listen and learn. Look and learn, people. Look and learn.
Well, the next one, I'm sure there's a barrage here. There's plenty we could talk about. But I'm going to ask you for your favourite wrestling match. And I'm going to ask you for one you've had and one that you've watched. Your favourite to watch, but your favourite you've had as well.
Just off the top of my head, I have been chasing Michael Ogle for over 5 years. And at the beginning of last year, he put out another tweet saying that I was on his match list, that people he wanted to fight, but he ducked me. He's been ducking me since day dot, and it was all of this elaborate ruse of his to try and act like he wanted to fight me, but really he didn't respond to any of my messages. He didn't ever want to get in the car with me. He never wanted to look at me in the locker room yet. And I finally got him. I got him right where I wanted him, and I knocked him out cold. And it's the most beautiful match you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, well, I can't believe Oku would do that. We've had him on the podcast as well. He's such a lovely guy. I can't believe he'd dunk you like that and try and do that.
It's a facade. He's not a good guy.
No? Oh, well, we'll have to rethink inviting him back on.
Yeah, don't.
No,
in fact, the less attention he gets, the better.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
He panders to people. He's a rat. Anyway, I knocked him out cold. So that's probably one of the greatest wrestling matches to ever happen at this point.
What's one of the others then? One of the ones you watched and not been in? What's your favourite that you've watched? Maybe someone Tate Mayfairs like, or someone you've aspired to be or be like?
I don't aspire to be like anyone. What are you on about? What are you on about, you Mel?
No, that was bad. That was bad of me. I'm sorry.
I admire people like people like Achilles, like Alexander the Great. I admire Muhammad Ali, but I don't aspire to be anyone. I was already made. Understand? I'm already made. You're just watching it evolve and play out. Time is an abstract concept. This has already happened. You can already go on Google and check it out. I am the greatest professional wrestler to ever walk on earth.
I saw that. Yeah, it's crazy that Google knew that so quickly as well.
Well, they're ahead of the curve. They've got all the info. Other wrestling matches that I've enjoyed. A real turning point for me when I was younger was one of the Tiger Mask Dynamite Kid matches. That was very interesting and eye-opening to me. And so let's go then.
I like it. There's only a couple more left. The next one is my favourite place in the world.
Me?
Yes.
It's got to be West London. I've been all around the world. And on this planet, I'd say there's nothing quite as good as West London. W1 West London.
The wealth, the aspiration over there, yeah.
It's there's beautiful people, beautiful restaurants, beautiful bars. I've got a couple of places set up there. I've got my home. I like it. In London, in the UK as well, we do get maybe I'm acclimatized to it, but we do get. It's cold right now, but it's bearable cold. It's hot in the summer, but it's bearable hot. We really do have it quite right.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions: Dubai, wonderful city. Honorable mentions: there's also a couple of islands out near the coast of Burma, the Andaman Islands. There's some beautiful resorts up there. I would say that as well.
Lovely, lovely. Well, the final one is sort of the opposite of that, because I'm sure the money and influence Tate Mayfairs has, you can jet anywhere in the world at any time, whenever you want. But what is...
You say that like as if I'm some guy who is void of responsibilities and work. I have got the money and the capability to do so, but the reason why I have the money and the capability to do so is because of how sharp my brain is and how hard I work. I could do that, but I need to get work done. So
Oh no, I wouldn't put it past you to ever not be doing that. I imagine like you're jetting off and you're doing your work on the plane while it's going, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah,
it's true. That happens, but yes, I work very hard. I'm not just simply pigging out. Maybe something Spike Trevay might do is just simply wine off his parents' money. You know what I mean?
That seemed like a little riff there, didn't it? That seemed like the sort of thing you were going to avoid.
Enough. Get back to the questions.
I'm just saying, you seemed keen to avoid it, but...
You're trying again, aren't you? You're trying again.
Well, it just seemed like you did it for me there with that one. But I don't know. We'll see what Spike thinks of that if he watches this.
What is it?
Well, it's just, what is your dream holiday destination?
What are you on about? I've been everywhere.
Well, which one? What's the best? Where's the finest place you've been?
There's a couple of islands, like I say. Maybe they're quite nice. The truth be told, at this moment in time in my life, I'm very busy working. I do get to enjoy some things, but it's kind of hard for me to actually really stay still and lap up the moment. I do get times of that. But ask me again when I'm 80 years old. Maybe at 80 I will start to take the day off here and there.
Yeah, once you've conquered the world, then you can relax.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I admire the grind that you put in. I do. Well, Tate Mayfairs, thank you so much for honouring us with your presence here on the Grapple Theory podcast. It's been delightful for me. I hope it's been at least bearable for you. I hope you've been able to at least stomach some of it.
It's all part of the duty I have to make the world as great as me.
And I do believe this is the greatest podcast we've ever recorded. So... I mean, it's probably not even in question. Not in question. But we always end every episode with giving our guest one final bit of promo time. And so we've mentioned it plenty in this podcast, but one final piece from you. In 2023, if someone comes to see a show and you're on it, why or how will you convince them that Tateness is greatness? Why is Tate Mayfairs always going to steal the show if people come and see him?
It's a stupid question, mate. I've proven it already. I've literally proven it already. Go and watch it. I've had more matches pretty much than anybody in the UK scene all of 2022. I've also had more sellout shows than anybody in the country. I've also wrestled for the biggest companies in the world. I've also won championships around the world. I'm a legitimate world champion. I sell tickets, and I've proven it time and time again. Everywhere I go, the houses rise. Every time a non-wrestling fan watches me, they are converted into a wrestling fan. There's a reason why they say Tateness is greatness, and we are just merely scratched the surface. We are just getting begun. 2023, wow, it's all laying right ahead in front of us. TNT, Progress Wrestling, AEW, WWE, GCW, Europe, England, Dubai, Mexico, America, Japan, you are all on lock. You are all in my sight. It's just a matter of time, and this is the time that the world finds out that Tateness is greatness.